let's continue with this journey about the belly dance costumes and starts now with a style that I really love, that is Shaabi style. And every time we don't know how to dress when we dance Shaabi. I see many dancers wearing jeans trousers. That can be okay if you want to perform really a kind of street Shaabi, but on the stage it doesn't work much because they're not sparkling, they're not really much interesting, look like a little bit cheap. The traditional Shaabi, like the modern one, needs a costume who comes maybe from the balladi, maybe from the folk, as you know, Shaabi style coming from the folk, from the balladi, and took his own personality after the 70s. So after 70s we start to see belly dance performer who use more similar to folk and to Saidi style, but with some strass, something sparkling, and we can use it to dance Shaabi. I give you an example now, and maybe Mr. Katat can explain some more about this costume.
صباح الخير. ده vestito بدلة شعبي diciamo moderno, Shaabi hadith, Shaabi moderno. Gli piace la gente che esce fuori la loro fantasia della danza. Questo è un vestito Shaabi e la gente gli piace esprimere, gli piace mettere sempre cosa nuova, voleva sempre di più. Voleva sempre avere delle cose molto attraenti e molto non il suo agio, e gli piace di più, voleva scoprire ancora di più, sempre di più. E Shaabi questo può danzare, Shaabi per strada, la strada sapete meglio più del teatro, perché la strada è Shaabi, vuol dire Shaabi, il popolo. Dopo questa qua si può anche fare danza con il fuoco. Il fuoco c'è esprimere il fuoco, una cosa eccezionale, in mezzo al popolo, in mezzo alla piazza, in mezzo alla gente, e gli piacciono, e questo qua fa divertire molto.
Year after the 70s, when Shaabi dance style start to have a shape, dancers and especially belly dancers started. Of course, belly dancers, they are the one who performs in theaters, in cabaret, because in the street you don't need a costume, as you are, you dance and you enjoy. And of course he said, and this is very interesting, that the street is the best theater, the best show. You will see it in the streets of Cairo, of course, of Giza and the Shaabi area. But let's talk about your performance, the theater. We need something really sparkly, and the belly dancers starting to ask us always something different, something new, something modern, something special, something different from the other dancers, because it is very important for other dancers to be different from the previous one. They want to be more effective, so they need always new design, new ideas, new fantasy, and of course more sexy, more naked, showing off more. And this is the perfect example. We have a kind of galabeya like in the balladi and in the Saidi style, but with some cut in the correct area, so when you move and when you do your things, the body is visible. And you have a sparkling bra, and of course has to be built strong, because when you dance you don't want nothing moving. But of course you keep your arms covered like in a galabeya, but as you can see there are cuts in the skirt, so you can even jump, go in the floor, do many moves like Shaabi required, especially the last type of Shaabi. So I love this costume. I want to remind that normally Shaabi doesn't have really all this spark, all this glitter in the costume, but year after year the belly dancer requires this, especially for the theater, because with the light, of course, gives total another image. I will show you now the new model of Shaabi style, as it's working now, as it's fashion now in Cairo. So this is the last new. I go to change. I will come soon to show you. Here we are. As I told you, now I wear a beautiful costume, Shaabi, and this is the last style, the last fashion in Cairo. It means, actually, when I was dancing in my time, my age, let's say, or already many years ago, there was not existing this type of costumes. Ah, yeah, sure.
Una cosa eccezionale.
Correct. Also for drum solo, this is perfect. And for the new style of Shaabi of now, this pop electronic maragan that we see in Cairo, in all the nightclub, and especially in disco club, in kind of bars, is a more modern style without orchestra. All the dancers are performing. The perfect costume is this one because you feel free, you can move, you can show your body, and there is a lot of effect. As you see, it looks like a little bit samba costumes. Reminds me like a Latin American samba.
Yeah.
And actually is one of the most requested now in this period, already since 3 or 4 years maybe. I don't feel really comfortable because it's a little bit too naked for me, but okay, I don't perform anymore, so it's not my problem anymore. But I just wanted to show you because if you want to be updated, you can use really this type of costume for Shaabi. Only for Shaabi or tabla or something like modern maragat. I don't suggest this costume for Rakshaki classic or not even ballerine. Bolla che? You want to say something?
È un costume un po' fantasioso e bello. Questa qua è stata creata per fare il Shaabi, il vero Shaabi, il divertimento assoluto. Può fare le percussioni anche, le percussioni esprimere i movimenti bello del corpo, dell'anca, di tutto il corpo. E questa qua anche, usato anche, hanno fatto samba. Io c'è anche, sì, io c'è del cliente, l'ha fatto fare loro di questi qua, è bellissimo, esprimere il fisico come vuoi tu, danzi liberamente, quanto vuoi liberare.
I feel free, it's true. The nice of this costume that you feel free because it's not heavy, you feel your leg is free, your arms are free, so it's correct. You can feel your body, you can dance totally free like you're almost naked, and for sure make a lot of effects because of this of this kind of cut and much strass. Yes, it's a genius idea actually. And light, you can put in a bag and go. This was my problem when I was dancing.
La danza nell'animo, la danza
The
si
dance
piace,
of the soul.
la danza è guarittrice, la danza ti fa stare bene. Sì.
Correct.
La danza corretta, se hai qualche difetto anche nel fisico, chiunque persona, qualche donna diciamo, la danza se correggi il difetto quella che ha nel corpo, la fa camminare bene, la fa stare bene, la fai la mente libera.
This is true. The dance,
gente.
even if you don't have a perfect body, you don't feel good in something, when you dance you become perfect, and your body change and will become perfect, and also your soul is saying something very smart. It looks like you're a dancer. You know all the secrets. How is it? So this was the last fashion of Shaabi costumes. Of course, there are many other types, many other designs, colors, more naked, less, a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, cut it maybe in the side. There are different, of course, designs, and this is up to you. And now let's go straight away to the folk, and I will show you something that is not very common to see. So thanks Katat that he will show us some new style, other type of costumes that you can perform. Here we are. This is one of my favorite style of dance and of costumes, and I think you recognize it. This is Eskandarani costume, or as we call it, Melaya Laf dance. And I will explain all. This is almost traditional. We have burqa. This is very important, right? And after, of course, you can take it out.
Sì.
You can show, we have other two different type of this. It's very cool when you wear it before the show and in the beginning of the show, and after maybe you take it out because of course you want to show your face. I will show you. I collect this and and without burqa, I come like this. We have different type of burqa. I want to show you also if you want to be more modern, more stylish, more contemporary. There is one very, very nice with strass, and of course you can use it and the face is more visible. Or we have another type, the one with all the medals. Vabbè, it's okay, it's also traditional. And then this costume is done with this foulard with many, how to call it, pompon, don't know the name, color, because traditionally Eskandarani girls, this comes from Eskandaria, it means Alexandria in Egypt, where the women, the girls, because of the sea, al-Bahri, because of the sea, they wear more short clothes in the real life actually, and they wear also this sabot or sandals, or anyway some shoes with some heels, and this make her way of walking really female and interesting. So this all has to appear in the costume. And then we have the most important is the melaya laff, that is this big material, very light but also big, with a full of decoration, because of course on stage this will be a great effect, and when you dance of course you have to use it. It's part of the dance itself. But let's check the costumes. Actually it's a dress, a normal dress, but of course with decoration, strass, crystals, because you have to be of course sparkling on stage. Has to be a little bit short, many colors. Sometimes you can find flowers, you can find many how to say, farmer design, and you can have it shorter, longer. This is about your taste, but has to be not long until your feet. And this is the costume of Melaya Laff. Melaya Laff, bolla che. You want to say something about this type of costume?
Il Melaya Laff è questa qua, una...
Masterclass.
Il Melaya Laff, questa qua, il copri. Noi qua nell'Occidente usiamo, metti il cappotto, metti la giacca, la donna, diciamo. Invece questa melaya, il veri alessandrini, questa qua la tradizionale vestito alessandrino, Bahari, il figlio di Bahari, la donna di Bahari, li mettono questa melaya qua, tutti si coprono. Questo qua è vero, questo qua venne da tanti anni fa, lontano parliamo del 1920, 30, 40, 50. E questo è un vestito tradizionale vero anche nella vita quotidiana, oltre alla danza. Voi mettono la burqa davanti, quando ballano con la gente o vanno a acquistare qualcosa, la burqa li tirano e mettono indietro per vedere. Questo costume qua per danza alessandrina. Questa è la danza molto sensuale e molto bella. Alessandrina è sempre abituata a vivere nel suo modo di essere.
Used to this kind of material, and was very the real life, traditional life in the beginning of course of 1900. Now maybe you will not see anymore, but it was true some years ago. And the women, the Alexander women, are very special women. They are a little bit different from the rest of the women of Egypt, and they have a strong personality. And they were maybe the first ones who started to wear short skirts, and you can see it also from this costume. So they use sometimes to cover it all, even the hair and the face and everything. When they go out, they don't want to show themselves, but maybe after they enter in the market or in a shop, they need to talk, they need to do things, so they can use the hand, they can uncover their faces, and they can talk with the people. And sometimes they play, and they do something really female with this melaya. And this is all part of the melaya dance that finally is a style of the balladi. So this we want to show maybe some other. I have another one, little bit more traditional, without decoration in the costume, and this is also you. So you can see the important is very much color, this type of work in the neck and in the end of the skirt, and you can choose the color you want, but you have to have your melaya and your way to put the scarf around your head. So this was a Eskandarani costume. Hope you enjoy this costume. Hope you enjoy Eskandarani dance. And now let's go to other folklore style. And now we have another folkloric Egyptian costume, and this is a Fallahi costume. It's very much used for the folkloric show. Not everybody, not every dancers use it because, of course, it doesn't look like a costume for the theater, but actually, if you perform a Fallahi dance well done, like the famous choreographer Mahmoud Reda did in the past, it will be really a great success because it's also so much full of joy, so much full of color, and normally people like this kind of performance. Better if you are in group, not only one dancer. And we have an example here, but of course this is what I found of my size, but there are many other designs, many other colors. The important has to be very much color with flowers, because this is how the farmers of Egypt used to dress, especially in the past when they go for to work in their land, and especially the women, that they are the one who goes to the sea to wash the clothes or maybe to take the water. Normally now I have a basket here, and this is normally part of the dance, but what is much used is what they call the Ballasi, it means the pot.
Ballasi o scistino, ballasi per l'acqua, scistino per lavare i panni
Okay, ballasi is to bring the water from the source of the water and bring it to the home in the ancient time, let's say, or the basket for the clothes to wash. And what you think about this type of dance, of this type of costume?
E questo costume anche nella realtà è il costume tradizionale del contadini, il fallah contadino, quella che lavorano la terra, e questo è il vero costume. E questa qua è la tradizione di questi colorati, non devono essere tutti colorati, perché loro gli piacciono i colori, la fantasia, per esprimere, per vedere la bellezza della terra, della compaesana, diciamo così. Poi questi qua l'hai fatto, ringraziamo il grande Mahmoud Reda, l'hai fatto il tableau per danza Fallahi, è uscito fuori la danza Fallahi vestita lo stesso vestito, diciamo, lo stesso vestito, in più e c'è o la giarra, il ballasi, la giarra, quella che vai a portare l'acqua per portare a casa nella vita quotidiana, o il cesto o del fiori, se loro vogliono portare il fiore o portare qualcosa nell'orto, o per lavare il panni, i loro vestiti nel fonte.
Correct. You said something very interesting that actually made me remind that in Egypt is true, the farmer people, that I have to say is the most quantity of people of Egypt that come from the farmer line, so it's a very important part of their culture, and most of the folkloric dance like Saidi and like Baladi comes from farmers. They love colors, they love flowers, love all these super much colored designs.
Allegria.
Yes, and they wear it. I see in Cairo many farmer women, they wear this kind of clothes full of colors and flowers and fruits and designs. So this, to remind this style, you have to wear really colored. You will never see them with black clothes, correct?
Correct.
And no glitter, of course, because it doesn't work in the
anche perché loro quando fanno un raccolto, specialmente il grano, la fine delle stagioni, il grano o il cotone, quando raccolgono il cotone, loro tutti insieme vanno a fare una festa in piazza, vestiti così, colorati, mangiano insieme, danzano, cantano. È bellissimo.
Come si chiama questa festa?
È la festa del raccolto.
Ok, by Egyptian?
يوم ما هم بيجني القطن. Ganni il cotton.
Ganni
Il cotone ci sono,
ah,
sapete
the
che
sing,
in arabo,
the song of
in
the...
arabo, sì.
ok,
Quando
interesting.
loro raccolta del cotone, e loro dopo che hanno raccolto il cotone vanno per vendere, loro fanno grandi feste, tutto il paese, tutti insieme, danzano,
Very
cantano,
interesting.
mangiano.
He's saying that when they normally the farmer line, especially in Egypt, they produce cotton. Is the main product, maybe more than the
Raccolta
il grano,
il
the
grano,
grain. No,
il
no,
cotone.
it's the cotton most. Sometimes the fruits also like the balach.
No, questa è sud,
Bedouins.
però era raccolta, diciamo, quella che è resistente, quella del cotone, perché il cotone si sa, il cotone e il grano,
The
il riso.
famous
Sì.
Egyptian cotton. So when they get all the products from the land, they used to meet all together and to make a big party with many dance, many songs, and food, of course, and many babies. I can imagine and much music. So all these dances comes from
Quando
there.
fanno matrimonio o vogliono sposare, un esempio, l'appuntamento non stagionale, quante dopo il raccolto del cotone, dopo il raccolto del riso, e loro fanno bellissimo queste
Also
cose
the
qua.
rice.
Perché le loro fonti di guadagno, il Fallahi, le loro fonti di guadagno è raccolta del loro...
So when they get all the cotton from the land and they sell it, this is their main moment of earning money. So for them is really important. So anything they do, like the wedding parties or anything important for the community, they do it, for example, after this party of the cotton, because it's a kind of celebration. So after they can do their life, the most important is is this party. Very interesting. I didn't know about this celebration. So when you want to dance a Fallahi style, this is the costume. It's very important. It has to be large, not stretched at all, because they have to be comfortable when they move, when they work in the land. So it's done of cotton, of course. It's very big, especially in the end of the costume. They have this kind of decoration, and it's much important that is big, so you can do this kind of movement that is very important in the Fallahi. Fallahi means farmers, by the way, in Fallahi style. So let's continue with the folklore, with other style. I go to change. And here, look how beautiful these costumes, and I have to say I'm amazed because I danced many times this style, but I never could find the correct costumes traditional like this. Complimenti, congratulations, Katat, you really have something really original. This represents Haggala style, Haggala or Haggala. Haggala, depends.
Dipende dalla lingua come.
Exactly,
come
and Haggala or Haggala is a traditional Bedouin style of the Marsa Matruh oasis, but also in the area of Libya. I have to say they dance something really similar. But the interesting of this dance that it was discovered it was not known before the choreographer, the famous Egyptian choreographer Mahmoud Reda, showed it to the world in this famous show in Karnak. You want to say something about this story? No, I will tell, and then you will tell me. What you was saying before, it was so interesting. Haggala, we don't know much about this dance, but look like is a dance about engagement, like the women dance with the men of the village to choose each other to create the new couples. I don't know if it's really truth like this, because I don't know if the girls can choose their husband. And maybe it's not really like this, but it's tradition that girls, they do this kind of dance to meet their future boys. Very important about these costumes is the skirt. But first, I want to ask about more about this folkloric style that is a little bit mysterious, because also there are not written documents. You were saying to me, explain me better, please.
دي حكاية ورacconto حكاية. اتنين عايزين يجوزهم او في جواز، فبعدين بيسابقوا بعض، فهو يعني هما اتنين والراجل ده بيحب الاتنين، هو عايز يختار واحدة، ففي مين اللي هي هتطلع بأنوثتها اكتر، او مين اللي هي هتقدر تقنع ده علشان يتجوزها هي. فبدأوا يعملوا مع بعض مسارعات، ازاي يعني يرقصهم ويبينوا ان هو كل واحد يبين من ناحيته ان هو يعرف اكتر من الثانيه بشويه. Queste qua c'è una competizione fra due donne o fra la donna vogliono sposare lo stesso uomo, l'uomo voleva scegliere una, hanno fatto questa sfida qua che danza, non danza meglio, che esprimere meglio la sua femminilità, la sua danza, il suo sorriso, batteranno, poi è uscita fuori e questa danza straordinaria, magnifica, quella che ha fatto il grande Mahmoud Reda, è buonanima, è morto purtroppo, ma vive sempre dentro di noi perché lui è una delle più grandi in assoluto, quella che ha creato. Il tableau Haggala, una della danza sensuale e bella, esprimere la femminilità vera della donna. La danza Haggala, anche il vestito tradizionale, un costume, poi c'è sopra gonna di 2 e 3 strati, è fatta a certo modo, e così anche il copritesta, per esprimere veramente la cosa, anche non solo la femminilità è coperta, voleva anche esprimere come si può vivere questo modo qua.
I was trying the costume. So he was saying something interesting about this dance, that it was created a kind of tableau where the two girls has to compete to choose which man to marry, and so the men will choose one of these two girls, but they have to show to this man which one is more female, more elegant, more nice, more fascinating. So it was a kind of competition during this dance, and the man finally will choose the one he likes more. And this was a little bit the story of this dance, that after this the great choreographer Mahmoud Reda brought to the scene in Karnak temple. It was in the 60s, and this dance started to become famous all over the world, because also it traveled all over the world to show it, and is a very important part of the Egyptian folklore. Very interesting the costume, that finally is a galabeya, all galabeya, and after we put on top a big skirt like this. Sometimes you can see it has many parts and has to move when you dance, because this dance is only about your hips, walking with the hips, and this skirt will help you to show the movement of your hips. Much important, the hair in this way, and a cover of veil like this one. Of course, you can choose the color you want. You can see it's not a transparent costume, it's not you don't have to show too much, as in the tradition of Egyptian culture. And it has this big sleeve, and this was exactly like Farida Fahmi, that was the favorite dancer of Mahmoud Reda troupe, and the first one who performed this type of dance out of the traditional area, so in theater, in the show, and she was wearing a costume exactly like this. So it's really the original, because now you can find also some other variation, maybe in the skirt, more rich, more colored, sometimes shorter, but it's not really the correct one. I love Haggala, I love the music, and also I love the idea that you can dance it together with men. It's a very choral dance, and I invite you to learn it and to perform it with the correct costumes, of course, in your shows. So let's go completely to another style, and let's see what we will wear. And here we are with a very interesting costume. I'm watching because I am amazed from the color and the quality of the work really. And this is, we call it Moashahat costume, or someone prefer to call it like
chi li chiama Moashahat, chi li chiama Arab Andaluso,
Arab,
però noi diciamo Moashahat.
yeah, traditionally is Moashahat. Arab Andalus is the style of the music, and we are not really talking about Egyptian music, is more Arabic world music, is the traditional music starting from Persian period, and after when the Arab moved to North Africa until Andalusia in Spain, they spread this style that it was also Ottoman style, so we can say, and spread it with some small difference in all this area. And this music, I have to say, was not really for dance, but in Egypt, still, again, our big choreographer Mahmoud Reda started to perform some in his show some dances in this type, in this type of music, in this style, and we call it Moashahat dance. The original costume, as you can see, is the Persian style, so this is not Egyptian origin, and it's very elegant because this costume comes from the courts, from the palace, from the castles of the Ottoman kings, so it represents also all the magnificent of that period, and all the how to say, the richness, the elegance of these places. Honestly, I love it. What you can say about it?
Una bella costume per danzare Moashahat. Con questa costume qua o con questa danza si può danzare gruppo o può danzare uomo, anche una donna vestita Moashahat, anche un altro uomo danzano Moashahat. Una danza è molto bella, molto molto bella, desiderata di tutti, basta così.
This dance is very beautiful to dance, very elegant, I have to say, perfect for the theater for sure, not for cabaret, for restaurants and this kind of stuff, but in theater, if you want to do really an interesting and full of culture show, you can perform Moashahat, that has very difficult music, by the way, difficult rhythm. And you can dance it as a group of women, group of men, together, men with women. The costume has to, I want to show you, is about one trousers that you wear under, it's really a trouser, and then you have this long, how to say, maybe dress, large, with much veils, and sometimes you have veils also in your hands, and because the movement is all based on the arms and on the legs and the position, and this veil has to move and create an effect. For this reason, the costume has to be like this. And this is velvet, is like a corset, stretch should be, and quite covered. And very important, the typical hat of this period with a veil in the back that you can also leave it open if you prefer. And of course, you have to wear shoes when you dance this style, also to be elegant, because it's not a cabaret or a ballad style, totally opposite. So we love Moashahat, I have to say. I love this costume, so you can take inspiration. Of course, there are many other colors and many other combinations. And let's continue with our last costume for today, also from the folklore. Let's go à la tour to our Nubian style. And now here we are for our last folkloric costume with Katat. And believe me, it was so much difficult to choose between all this quantity of costumes, the colors, the shape, the models, the size. It was very, very difficult, but I tried to search something that is more traditional, more realistic, to make you understand what is the costume about. So this is Nubian style, or let's say Nubi.
Nubi,
Nubi
sì.
from Egypt. Nubi is in the real south of Egypt. Is an area, how to say, in the border with Sudan.
So,
And the people there, you can see they are different. They are taller, they are darker, they have a different dialect, they have different costumes, they have different way of living, of living so different culture, different way of living the life, and of course different type of music and of dance. And I want to show you the costume for the women. Maybe this is a little bit short for me, correct? Should be
no,
longer.
ma
Yani twice.
vabbè,
Okay. No,
cioè più lunghi, più corti.
of course there is
Sì,
longer
sì,
or
sì, sì,
shorter,
sì.
and there are many other colors. This is the typical
Manca solo la
Nubian.
collana.
Ah yes, missing the necklace, but it's gone. He sold it all. It's okay. And this is the typical decoration of Nubian style. You can find it also in their houses, in their streets. You can see this design is really typical Nubi. And the dance also, so you can see it's a large costume, it's a galabeya, large but not so much large like Fallahi. The arms are totally covered, and you wear also this veil in your head that most is to cover your hair, but also to protect from the sun, because in the south, like in Aswan, the sun is really hot. You want to say something, Bolla? Che?
Questo costume fa parte del folklore nubiano. Nubiano è molto bello, anche la canzone, la musica, un po' molto e più non solo bella, trascina, è molto bella. Questa danza qua nubiano si danza sia uomo sia donna. Il costume dell'uomo è diverso di questa qua. Il costume dell'uomo è un gilet, un caftano, è lavorato in modo fatto a mano, è bellissimo. E questo costume della donna certamente altri colori, altre cose e così. E il nubiano è non solo egiziano, perché noi sappiamo che Egitto e Sudan erano una sola nazione e tempo del re, e tempi prima prima nel Novecento, prima del Novecento. E questa danza qua nubiana, perché Nubia fa fra Aswan e Sudan, o il sud dell'Egitto e Sudan. Questa danza è molto bella, molto esprimere, come si dice, molto allegra, esprimere veramente delle cose, gioia, enorme gioia, e bella. Anche la parola, la musica ti trasmette serenità, trasmette felicità, trasmette una cosa molto allegra.
Okay, saying that in the past, actually Egypt was not having the border of now, and there was really an area was not like that, like this. Sudan and Egypt was connecting. There was a land called really Nubi, and this area, so he has his own tradition and everything, and the music is amazing, emotionally full of joy, and when you dance it and when you listen it, even you will feel immediately so good, because also these people is like this, make you feel happy, make you feel calm, make you feel can change really your mood. So this dance also reflects this kind of atmosphere. And what else you said? I think you said it all. So this is the correct costume to dance Nubi. Please, all this was to tell you, take care when you choose your costume, when you are preparing your show, when you want to dance in front of people. We have to respect this culture so much, who gave us so much, and so also we have to respect especially the tradition, especially the folklore. You can be free to wear what you want, mostly for Raxel Sharki, for cabaret style. Yes, this is about fashion, it's about to show your body in a certain way, But when we talk about Baladi, Saidi, more folklore and folklore, we really need to respect the real tradition of Egypt, because we must do it. First of all, we will perform in the correct way, and we will be helped from the costume itself. And second, we have to do it really as Mahmoud Reda did it when he performed all the folkloric show all over the world, to show exactly what is this dance, what is this music, and which is this tradition. We cannot really put too much our imagination. Yes, we can choose the color and the decoration, but the shape and the cut of the costume has to respect the tradition. So it's important to know, and then you can choose and you can fit the costume for yourself. Hope this video was really useful for you. Actually, I enjoyed so much to wear all this costume. I have to thank so much Mr. Katat Osama from Egypt, really the boss of the belly dance costume. You can find all the information about him in the description of this video. You can find his contact if you need anything. He can ship everywhere. He can even come to your event, to your belly dance studio, to your festival, if you want to have a kind of bazaar, a real complete bazaar. And he produces also for most of the belly dance studio in Europe, for students, for teachers. So here you can find whatever you need. And hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much, and see you in the next one with some other topics. Thank you. Ma salama.
Thank you for all. Ma salama.